Okie doke. That's definitely a new one. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Penguin Academy game analysis. We are still in week 4 of the 2026 Winter Super League. This is the second half of week 4. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm about as okay as I get, which is, bad for other people. I've still got the COD Penguin on. Thank you very much. There we go. So for those of you on the YouTubes, that's what that would be Sergeant Hopper. He's up when I'm playing Call of Duty. Let's bring back Coach Hopper. We have Franki129 and his Old World Alliance versus Wenteros. I don't know why I called him Wenteros, and his Dark Elves. A very different matchup in third season for those of you living in the modern era of Blood Bowl and not the Blood Bowl 3 era, which is now 4 months out of date. Yeah, I saw, yeah. There is a problem, though, right? I'll get this out of the way. For those of you on YouTube, the YouTubes tend to be more interested in the world of tabletop anyway, so I don't really mind talking about it in the VODs. The problem with NAF stats is the same problem it's always had, and it's worse now. So the overall problem in NAF stats is the lack of skill in tabletop players. Like, it's worse than any other large group of players, right? I'm interested in how teams play against each other and how they rank up when both players are good, like good plus. I don't really care too much how teams match up when everyone's a bit shit. Because it very much changes, right? Agility teams get a boost. All agility teams get a boost. However, the problem now is agility teams are being countered by certain teams, like Old World Alliance, who are probably now the best counter to all agility teams. Because in all NAF style, they're going to come with Mighty Blow Tackle. They're going to come with the speed of the Blitzer and the Strength 3 now Catcher. They're going to constantly be able to bully with half of their team. Like, they're essentially now the agility counter. So it skews the stats all over the place. And secondly, it's even though Blood Bowl 3, as I said, is 4 months behind the times, there haven't been that many tournaments, right? People are going to get this wrong. People are going to get the tiering wrong. People are going to get their guesses wrong. And I think that's going to go on much longer than people would guess. Because I don't think standard tabletop tiering applies anymore to third season rules. I don't think you can do it. I don't think it works. I've said before, I think humans and Skaven, because they have a load of spare gold, but you don't want to give them extra skills, need to be completely separate to a team like vampires, who are now like way low because they're still being tiered too high. But no matter how low you tier them, they don't get enough gold to buy at least an extra reroll, which is something they're going to need. What they're going to get when you tier them lower is extra skills, and those extra skills can only go on thralls. That's not going to make the team better. They don't need extra skills. They're only coming with 5 or 6 vampires. They need 6 or 7 skills max. But they need at least 50k extra gold, because they need to buy an extra reroll from before to make up for all the times that those 3 pluses are going to fail. So everything, all of the teams now need to be individually catered to, which is a grid system. The grid system was better before, but not like, necessary. And I think it's become necessary. I just don't think you can cater well to the third season roster changes with standard tiering as NAF have done for, decades. So I think the NAF stats, as they're not useless, but I think the caveats are so big that I don't particularly care that much. Like Wood Elves are second, right? And we know Wood Elves are not that good. Right, let's talk about the setups. Dark Elves are having to go first. So this setup, in my opinion, was shit from the Old World Alliance. Why on earth would you put the Ogre in the middle if the Ogre doesn't have guard, if he has block? Why don't you put the Ogre on the outside and put the guard in the middle? Obviously. Like, that's just, like, horribly basic. Lizards are going to be one of those ones that are going to live and die on their tiering. They're more expensive now, but lots of the new rules are trying to incorporate elite skills in some way, which again, to me, doesn't work in NAF style. That's another thing I should have brought up. Like lots of like TOs are trying to incorporate the new elite skill rules in some way, like making them more expensive or only allowing so many of them because Games Workshop don't make good rules for tournaments or anything. Why the hell are you copying them? Haven't done in the last like 20 years. Why are you starting now? Like it just screws some teams more than others. Possibly for the same reason, right? Maybe there's been a lot of tournaments that have just said four only of elite skills, or you get like 8 points, but elite skills are 2 points instead of one, or that kind of shit. Like we don't know. Like there's going to be so many different variants of tournament rules right now going on in the world. People trying to incorporate elite skills. People tiering like all over the shop, trying to guess stuff. That it's just a mess. I've said before, I'll say it a million times in the future. I absolutely have never agreed. Like, I don't even give a shit about, like, sorry, if Sol is out there somewhere, he's probably like twitching in his sleep when I say this. I couldn't give a flying monkey's thump who is top of the NAF ratings because of the massive difference in the tournaments that everyone plays. Who cares who the top Dark Elf player in the world is NAF-wise when all of the Dark Elf players are playing different tournaments with different rules? Like, it's so dumb. You can't compare, like, apples to oranges. The more, like, disposable income you are, the more choice you get over what tournaments to enter with your chosen team. So, just for example, if you're a reasonably well-off French guy who loves playing rats, you can go to a German tournament and an Italian tournament and a British tournament all in the same 6 months because rats were tiered well in those tournaments, and you can avoid all of the French tournaments around you where rats were tiered worse. And suddenly, your rats gain like 5% win rate. Like NAF ratings should be based on like one to three rule sets, NAF themselves should put out a rule set and say, if you want to be on this page, it has to be one of these. It has to be like tournament A, tournament B, or tournament C. That's all that gets to be on this page. If you want to do a different tournament with your own rules, you can. It will be on this casual rankings page. But no one cares enough for that, right? People, for some reason, the tabletop world is very ego protective. No one wants to make any changes, rock the boat, do anything different. So none of that will happen. Anyway, I don't like this setup, but he's about to get to completely fix it with a solid defense because Blood Bowl has no justice at all. And I also don't like the Dark Elves taking the blocks. Even though he's given him the blocks, I wouldn't do it. This is 2 dice, 2 dice, and then this is a 1 dice block. Why? Why are you doing a 1 dice block on turn 1? You should be dackering, like splitting the dwarves and the humans, because like if they wait for the dwarves and they get the turns, you get the 2 or 3 turns before you have to turn around and go back, because the dwarves are too slow to keep up. So this should be a full anti-blitz defense, and then we should dack it. But none of that seems to be happening. So let's watch what does happen instead. People, I have had some people say, like, why do you always recommend the DACA? Like, in second season, the DACA got better. I used to be one of the people who said, like, the DACA's not that good. It's fine. Like, its best positive is that your opponent is a bit shit and they don't know how to deal with it. And that's still true. But because of the multiple rerolls per turn that came in with 2020, and that leading into Blood Bowl 3, which only came in 2023, for me, the DACA got better in 2023, and now it's more often, to me, the correct solution. It's just more often the most viable play when you are playing into a team that has damage causing potential to you, and you're a team that can't afford to take damage, which in lots of circumstances, like Super League, like you don't have to do it in League when you've got loads of skills and bench and stuff. You can just play out different scenarios. But this, where you have no bench and you're hoping to take minimal damage for your defensive drive, you should therefore take less dodges and less blitzes to the face. And that's what a DACA is designed for. So people should fucking learn how to do them. Exactly. We saw, like, I'm sorry to use him as an example because I love the man, but like it lost PC the World Cup. Not having enough practice at doing a DACA lost him the World Cup. When he played defensively in the first game, he won the game. Like, he just outplayed Devo. Not because he's better than Devo. I think they're both top tier players. They're much of a muchness. But because Devo was playing a team he wasn't comfortable with, he'd lucked his way through to the final. And so he was making mistakes all over the place with his Old World Alliance. And PC took advantage of that in the first by, like, literally showing him all of the flaws in his own play. It was amazing. But then in the second game, the reverse happened. The flaw in PC's game is that he never dackers. He wasn't that good at it. He wasn't terrible at it. Like, it's not like he's an idiot or anything. But that difference in skill level that he would have had if he'd had dackers practiced and in his back pocket is what cost him the whole World Championships. He would be world champion right now if he knew how to dacker better than he does. Without a doubt. He only needed a draw. Without a doubt, he would be world champion. Without needing luck. Because he outplayed Devo in the first one. If he'd have dackered to score on his own drive, Devo would have needed to score twice. Much, much harder. Cost him the World Championships. And then because he lost that game, Davo just diced him in the third one, as he had done in pretty much every round of the World Championship finals. And now Davo's World Champion instead. Interesting choice, by the way. To blitz with the blockless block instead of the 2-into-1 of the Witch. I'm not certain which is better. This is a 1 in 81. So, but he's only got 2 rerolls, so you don't want to use the reroll. So this probably had the most likelihood of not using a reroll, but also the most likelihood of going wrong. So, interesting, right? That is actually an interesting conundrum. There was no need to park him on the Slayer, but yeah, I was going to say we should protect the Witch. So I wouldn't have taken this block. Like, I don't want to leave my blitzer there. I wouldn't have taken the block. The blitz is fine because it frees up someone who didn't have to dodge. So it's a 1 in 9 instead of a 1 in 6. So that's fine. Or you could have blitzed with the Witch and then dodge with dodge, etc. But taking this block when it's on a dwarf, if I take this block on a thrall or something, but not on a dwarf, right? Now you're just eating a block to the face from an ogre to hit a dwarf. That's just shit. He's even 1 dice in instead of... Okay, that is shit and wrong. Like, there's no way around that. It's a 1 in 36. And he's doing it with a 1 dice to do another 1 dice on the ogre. Come on, man. Just fucking dodge. Like, it's... You're elves. This is just not how you play Dark Elves. Sorry. I'm sad. I'm sad that I'm so far behind on this, by the way, because I've started leaning into doing more of the content for 3rd season, and obviously this is 2nd season rules, and this is going to still be but I can't do content for 3rd season. There's no Fumble 3rd season yet. That's not coming till April. So until then, like, the race specific stuff that I talk about in these games is only useful to Blood Bowl 3 players who are going to be playing it for the next 2 months. The generic Blood Bowl stuff useful for 3rd season players, but like me talking about this is not how Dark Elves play, kind of irrelevant, isn't it, to 3rd season players, because Dark Elves don't play anything like... In fact, you shouldn't play Dark Elves in 3rd season, but I have no idea how Dark Elves play in 3rd season because they look fucking terrible. Weirdly not interested in follow-up blocks there. Well, got away with it. No pows at all on those 7 dice. I mean, no. This guy is useless, isn't he? He should be there on the outside. Like, these two should be on the out. You don't want your thrower on the outside. He should be on the outside. These two are covering each other just fine. Now your thrower's getting punched. Luckily, just a stun. Safe moves later. That's a rush, isn't it? That was a rush, yeah. Oh my days. Just keep rolling dice, man. Why not, right? Well, nothing failed, so everything's fine. just pushes. So far, the Dark Elves surviving this. And he can't surf him. Which shouldn't have been on, obviously. Six dice, no pow. And then just stays there. And he's lucky that first one wasn't the dot. He can't afford to re-roll that first one. And without it, he's likely getting surfed. Oh, crap. My lollipop just came off its stick in my mouth. Damn it. Now I can't speak properly. It's too big. Ooh, misses and all that. Okay. This is just a Lionor. Okay, I can speak again now. So you have to jam these in. But there doesn't seem to be any real way to rescue the catcher. This is the blitz. I would kind of consider doing it with the ogre. You have to care that there's 5 elves here. And he has to move up this turn. But you also don't really want to just leave these 5 over here and abandon the catcher. So I would probably blitz him with the ogre. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we can stick like a guard in there, a guard on him, and a player in there. So like these 4 squares are full. Can you get, and then that's a 2 dice block, right? And it, because these are full, it'll be pushed down that way, which is the regular player, not the guard. And you can follow out then. That's probably the best way to get him out. And then you leave like the blitzer and this blitzer and the slayer in the middle. And the thrower against these 5. I don't think you can afford to stand him up. I think he gets surfed immediately if you stand him up, but maybe you can, depending on how you do the guards. You could stick the blitzer in there and keep the blocker over here. You've got to split your own team, right? Because he split his team, and you can't afford to just ignore one side or the other, or that becomes the strong side. If you ignore these 5 down here, the ball goes over there, and these go with it, and everyone you jammed over here is now useless for 2 turns. But equally, if you go in at these, the ball comes that way, your catch is abandoned, and this becomes like holding a double screened side for him to move up in the following turns. So there's no good solution here. I'm not really certain I like that solution. I'm not certain what the point of that is at all. I think the answer is there isn't one. Oh yeah, this was terrible. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it kind of had the ideas of what I was talking about. He split his team to different things, but the placement over here is rubbish. So 1 dice. But it does get the double surf. Nothing for these, which is a little obnoxious, not gonna lie. It's also a 1 dice. Like, why is this guy still here when there's so many 1Ds happening? Like, the witch wasn't in trouble for being surfed there. Didn't have to take that, like, 2 into 1. Oh, of course. Doesn't matter. Not getting punished for that. Removed his own witch, obviously. That was punishment enough, I guess. Gotta come around underneath it. You know, you can't go over there. Like, this isn't... Okay. Wait, we didn't follow? We didn't follow? We didn't follow? We're red dicing? Oh my god, and he re-rolled it. That's a 1 dice if you just follow. What are you doing? Oh my days. Re-rolled a red dice to surf. Ugh. Well, that about sums this game up right there. Gonna surf the blitzer now, right? What? We're not even surfing the blitzer. You just had to push to there and roll another block and then surf it. Like, the ball is down here. Like, get rid of the blitzer. Like, so this block on a push, you just do another push and push him to there. Then take this block. On a pow, you eat it. But on a push, that's the blitz. He just comes around and knocks the blitzer off. And you have 3 untouched players right there. With a blitzer gone. One of the best old world pieces. Wowzers. It doesn't lose a lot of board state or anything. Hello, Blitzen. You're saying afternoon. It's like 6 a.m. for me, but... Sure. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. That seems like a long question to read, so I'll press pause. Video kiss the tabletop models that are met. The teams might be forced to play. Good play. Yes, it's not done on purpose, right? By Games Workshop, but yes, it is a problem that the four most expensive teams to play are, well, three of them are the shittest teams in Blood Bowl. Like, and the team that currently has the worst win rate in third season, which is kind of surprising, we'll have to see why, is the most expensive team to play. I don't know what the thoughts behind the designs of the teams are when that's a true thing, right? Goblins were the worst team in second season. I don't think they're the worst team in third season, but like, you know, maybe I'm missing some nuance because I don't get to play third season. But they're still one of the worst teams, even if I think they're better now than like halflings and gnomes, and maybe even than ogres. They're still one of the worst teams, and they still cost 4 times as much to play as like Necro. Probably more than 4 times, because in most circumstances, if you're taking goblins to a tournament, you need a star player. So maybe 5 times as much as Necro to play, which is kind of absurd, because the person bringing Necro has a chance at winning the tournament, and you have like 0 chance at winning the tournament. And yet you're expected to fork out like 150 quid just to play the team, and they're rocking up with their £34 box set. So yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. Like I said, there's just some ideas in Blood Bowl that like seem set in stone, and there's no reason for it other than just people being old and not liking change. Like, that's all I can think of, right? There's no reason that all the stunty teams needed to still be shit. They could have made them better. They did make them better, but they could have made them better enough. They left them so that the issue still is to make them good at tabletop tournament stuff. You still turn them into foul ball, and no one likes playing foul ball or against it. No one likes playing against the fouling teams. It's rubbish. But they could have made them better. I still don't understand how goblins have armor 7 and halflings have armor 6. Like, how? Why are halflings the ones stuck with, like, the armor rate where average dice breaks armor? They could have made them armor 7. Armor 7 just means minimal armor. Goblins, like, why are goblins armor 7 and halflings armor 6? Absolutely pointless. Ludicrous nonsense. Could have increased the armor rate for halflings and made the team better. Still wouldn't make them good. They're halflings. They're slow. They're stunty. But it doesn't matter because people don't care. Yeah, I can believe that happened. Blitzen. Ripper is now a menace. Like an absolute menace. Like I said, I don't think the changes are good. I don't like the changes in third season at all. 1 in 9 into his own death. And that Kaz right there, I'll be honest with you, like, I would be wasting my apple on it, because I just think that you've lost, right? I just, well, not lost. I think you can still score this turn. But I think you are basically giving up a draw by eating a death on a blitzer when you have no bench. You've done no damage. I would roll the 35%. Yeah, I don't like the third season changes at all. That guy should have done a rush. That is a mistake. That's weird. He's doing a 4+ now. Well, doesn't 1 in 9. Has to burn his last reroll. There's a guy on the ground over here. I don't even know why he's there. Oh, he was doing rushes. Okay, I don't even know what those... I don't know what those rushes accomplish at all. But he's rolled his dice. He's going to score. Probably. Is this double rush blitz? No pow. No pow. He's going to score. It was fine. I guess if I would guess if I put those dodges into a dice calculator that they were much higher than people would think. It was like a 4-3-2-2 with no dodge for the first one, but a reroll in hand and then dodge for the others. Like, that would have been quite high, I think. Doesn't get a POW, doesn't need it. And that's it. Now, unless the Old World Lions get the throw, they're playing for a draw. They do have a reroll. The Witch does come back, so there is going to be a full back line, which makes it a problem for the catcher. Makes it a 4-4-3. So I will say, Old World Alliance, they have the Troll Slayer, right? They could set this up to do a catcher with a blitz through the back line, using the Slayer, doing a Necro one turn. Just use the Slayer to bang in here and then block the catcher forward in a one turn. And red dice blitz through the blockless guy on the back. I think that's completely doable. And then just have the halfling in the middle. I think you need to set up some redundancy for it. Like, you can't just... People just go all in on the throw all the time in this. I have no idea how good they think that throw is, because it's not very good. Well, he hasn't set up for it. So... And he gets a timeout. He gets a timeout and the ball goes into the crowd. Oh, my days. Oh, my days. So we open with a loner block for no real reason. And another one. This doesn't seem like the best. Gets a Kaz, so... How... What? I mean, someone's got to do a rush, right? What in the fuck is that? So he can put the blitzer in there. Put a player here. Tag the ogre. And then one dice with the witch into the square. So that when if it's a push, he chains him out to there, and there's an assist there. So the second block is 2 dice. Because I don't know what the fuck this is. Can everyone see what I'm talking about there? Like if you just tag him, there's no guard, right? So if you blitz from this square there, it's a 1 dice. But if you fill this square, the chain pushes him into him, who can go backwards. And now if you've put someone standing there, he's an assist. So it's 1 into 2. Or there, so that actually works the same. The reason I would have put him there is simply because of pushes into pushes. He's standing in front of you. Pushes into pushes there. This guy is in front of the ball carrier, not like to the side of him, leaving this to be covered. Okay, he's put someone there anyway. He didn't need to have them both be there. That's wrong. Okay, now I don't know what's happening. Now I think he's chaining him to push him backwards. 12, 11, 10, 9. Oh, we can chain him twice and push him out of range. Again, because of this stupid shape, right? Because he made this silly T shape. Don't know what the fucking half. If the halfling wasn't behind him, this wouldn't be so bad. It still wouldn't be good, but the halfling has made it awful because that's the square you can't fill. So he's just gonna chain him out if he gets a push. Yep, there we go. He is chainable back in. So he is chainable back into range, but not easily because of the amount of Dark Elves that are going to be in the way. So we have to block him up and then block him up again so the Slayer can chain him, the Slayer can block him forward. And then it blocks him forward as well to knock these players out of the way. So it's absolutely doable. It's more doable if Wenteros has stupidly got dodge on auto. Oh my days, no. Okay, it is technically still doable. He's probably not going to do it now, but he should have done it. So now he's trying to push him in, but then he's going to have to give him the ball. If you're going to come up with a chain, you need to come up with a chain that's better than this. What is happening? Guard goes there. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Why is the ogre over there? Are we handing off to the ogre? What the fuck is happening? Oh my god. Oh my god, we did hand off to the ogre. Wait, what? Oh, he boneheaded and we didn't see it. Okay, well, that was obviously ludicrously terrible. Funny, but terrible. Of all the players to chain forward in that mess, the ogre is who he went with. Which is, yeah, terrible. Hello, Sliker. Hopefully you can see at least that in times like that, you can work something out, right? You should be looking not just at chaining forward, but as you saw me work out, like chaining backwards first and then forwards again. So the Dark Elves have set up an offset LOS. It's okay. He's missing 3 players. Morning there. He's missing 3 players, so he can't really spread out without exposing the witch to the mighty blow tackle, which is just the one thing you don't want to do. So this is kind of the best he can do, but it does allow Frankie to do what he's done, which is properly screen one side and just be lazy on the other side. He doesn't have to be that lazy, right? He's been super lazy with it, like just one unskilled dude standing 3 back for no reason. No reason for that, right? He could have had, again, Catcher could have been over there, these 2 could have been there or there, and this would have been an A+ defense. And it doesn't really cost you anything, right? Like, why does it cost you anything? The Catcher over there can move 8 squares. You can go anywhere you want him to go. Cover the ball. What are these 2 doing? Cover the ball. It's just turn ordering, man. It's really not that hard. Why are you still there? What, like, why did you stop, move this player, get bored, roll a block with a loner, leave this dwarf here? What goes through people's minds? So I will say that at this point, when you're down to 8 elves on the pitch, it would have been perfectly reasonable to realize that you're basically playing for a draw and stick the blitzers on the LOS and hope that somehow they live and therefore you don't take any damage. But like, the reasoning for that is what I just said, but the reasoning against that is if he kills your blitzers, even just one of them, he could go for the win. Like, he could conceivably just decide to go for the win, and now you're a blitzer down because you put him on the LOS. So just playing for the draw with chances of a sack or chances of a timeout, it's okay. It's fine. Obviously, things are different if you need better than a draw. Not a real dwarf. Don't dodge it. Why would you dodge him? Like, you're on 8 players. You can't, like, removals are a disaster. What strategic reward is that guy worth to be standing there compared to the risk of you're definitely not re-rolling it, failing the 3-2 and taking an armor break? Like, what possible strategic reward are you getting from being there? Leaves the ball exposed to do this. Doesn't have to. Has enough players completely free to move them first. Moves back to there instead of moving up the pitch a bit. Why are you staying in your own half? Claim space while it's free. Oh, worse. Worse than doing that. We are moving the cage forward, but we're leaving the blitzer, the one you don't want punched, as one of the 2 obvious blitzes. When you're moving a cage forward against elves, one of the like tactics that they will almost always do is blitz the back of a cage, because then you have to blitz backwards yourself to free the ball. So you want the players at the back of the cage to not be the guy you least want being punched in the dick. That's the wrong square for the witch. Oh, he went for the other one. Gets a stun, bases the ball, and look, exactly what I said. That's who's getting blitzed now. And that means he can't utilize the blitz to claim forward space. Like, it's really early in the drives, and it's against 8 elves, so it almost certainly doesn't matter. But in general, it could matter. Doesn't break armor, which is kind of interesting. Does that allow us any kind of cheeky chain push type activity? I want to say yes, but it's very restrictive. So you'd have to red dice here to fill this square. This is the kind of thing I want to bring up on the new blood board. Let's bring up the blood board. Let's do some actual Penguin Academy. Good blood board. So, again, we can't do it properly because the blood board is using 2025 rules. So it doesn't have enough players. But we have a witch there. We have a witch there. We have a blitzer there. A blitzer there. No, that can't be right. There we go. It's these. I'm going to put runner for the other blitzer. We have a lino there. A lino there. And a lino there. Is that all we got? Yeah, we got 8 players, right? And the humans... Wait. Who's the other player? They're already on humans. How did I do that? The humans have the ogre there. Oh, it's not humans. It's Old World Alliance. The Old World Alliance have the ogre there. The dwarf blitzer there. The dwarf there. And there. The catcher there. A human lino there. The troll slayer is weirdly there. Oops. The thrower. Where's the thrower? Oh no, that's the thrower. The S is for the slayer. Okay. The ball is on the thrower. And then we've got a lino here. And we've got the human blitzer here. 3, 6, 9, 10, and there's a player on the ground down here. Right, we'll ignore the player on the ground. So, again, at this point, it's turn 12 for the Old World Alliance. They're probably not going to go for the win. You can try to roll some stuff as the Dark Elves. So you can block with this blitzer. There's my little arrow function. There's an arrow function here somewhere, isn't there? How do I do this? Oh, okay, I like that. That seems to work better for me. And we have the tackle zones on. Does anyone remember how to use the arrows? It's this, okay? So the blitzer hits him, and then we move him down there and follow. And then we have to fill this square. So are we going to use the lino or the witch? Well, let's try the lino for now. So now we've created a T shape, right? That was red dice, by the way. So it had to be double pushes to even attempt this. If it's not double pushes and he takes a double down, then, you know, whatever. The lino 1 dice is the Dark Elf Blitzer. And maybe you can come round with the other thing and make it a 2 dice. Yeah, maybe we can. And then 2 dice in there. And follow, probably. Because you might need to use the other blitzer. And now the Witch Elf can do a jump up red dice on this dwarf, which pushes him to there to there, to there. And then again, it's red dice, which chains the ball out. Oh, so maybe the witch had to go there, because I don't think the witch can reach 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, he absolutely can. Okay. So remember, none of that was the blitz. So the witch can now hit the ball. The lino can go there. And then this can go 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, bang. The problem is the only recovery you have is this blitzer there. Which seems useless. Not gonna lie. So maybe the blitzer comes round to tag where the lino is, and the lino remains, because if you get this pow or wrestle, the ball, you want the ball to be down here, right? If you get a pow, you're pushing this way, so the ball can go there. The lino is the best chance of getting the ball, and then, you know, lobbing it down here or something. But that is definitely doable as a sack. It's 3 red dice blocks, which I'm not going to lie, pretty lucky if you get them. But the first one, your opponent might not understand what you're doing, right? And just eat a push. If you roll a push and a double down, he's probably going to eat a push. He's probably not going to understand what's happening. The second one with the witch, you might not be so lucky because it might be more obvious then once you've created shapes. But that's the kind of thing you should be looking for. You don't have to see it as fast as I did. 7,000 games in, you might see it that fast, right? But you should be able to look at something and think, there could be something here, and then spend your time on that, like working out if there's something there. And the thing you should be looking at, because of the thing, is how, if you chain the ball out, right? That's the thing that you should eyeball. Can I chain this ball out? And the answer was yes. Yes, you could. Complicated, red dice, sure, all of that. But what else are you doing? Like, quite literally, what else are you doing? Because otherwise, you're just giving up a draw. Might as well do something. I mean, this is the more simple version, right? You just take the block and then you just red dice the ball and hope to God you roll a 25%. I mean, it's not nothing. He probably should tag the bottom player first, so it's not. Oh no, it can't be into 3 red dice because it's only 3 assists. Okay, so you just pray you get the 25%. And that might work out like pretty better odds. We've talked about this a lot. Like, where I come up with a complicated solution, there's a simple solution that's close enough in odds so you don't have to waste all of your time. That's weird. I don't like that. Why on earth would you move this player? That's your best recovery option. And then he eats this first skull he gets into a removal. And now that's just completely screwed the rest of the drive. If you're going to go for it, you have to go for it. Like, you have to go for it. You can't just eat a skull. What are you keeping your rerolls for? And there we go. That's the end of that now, isn't it? Just watch this play out now. Would be great if you tagged the other people up with the other players you've got. Why didn't you tag those two dwarves with the blodger? Force a 1 in 9 block. Could have gone wrong. Unlucky. %55% sack on the ball into an interesting scatter with a blodger right there and the mighty blow tackle tagged. That could have been a game-winning one dice that, you know, shouldn't be on, right, against 4 elves. You got 5 guard and you let that happen, a 4+ into a 1D. Shockingly bad. Oh, that was quite a terrible ogre activation. Jeez, man, he's not good, is he? Like, it's... Again, I'm forced to say, it's not personal, it's not a personal insult. It's not about him as a person. I don't even know who Franki129 is. I'm sure he's a very nice guy. And again, as I always point out, compared to the majority of people, I'm sure he's very good at Blood Bowl. Like, but on an objective basis, this has been absolute rubbish. Like, there's so much wrong with this. This is a free draw, and he's, like, doing his best to not have that happen. Or what a terrible ogre activation. That's 11% to, like, for free, to just try and, like, fuck him. At this point, he's actually super lucky that the witches are not on the pitch. Who knew this was going to be how good he was going to leave it on? And there we go, it doesn't get him. With a reroll, it's better than 11%. With a reroll, it's more like 20%. 20% to sack on turn 14. Have to pick the ball back up. You're not elves. That's a 1 in 9 to disaster. The ball could have bobbled somewhere that the elves could have got it, and then you have to get it back too. But instead, he just continues to roll pows and removals and gets his free draw. Wait, not that free. That's a blockless blitz. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Wow. It's just really terrible. And there's another 11%. Oh, well. Don't think that was necessary, but sure. And the expected draw happens. And Wenteros was, taking his chances, might as well. Thought he played better than Frankie considerably. Not amazing or anything, but that was pretty rough from the Old World Alliance. So Wenteros can feel a little aggrieved, but not too aggrieved. There's not a lot you can do in these games to turn them into anything other than a draw. Which is a bit boring for Penguin Academy, but hopefully there's some stuff in there that was helpful, and we will see you in the next game.